In this video, we're going to do something slightly different than usual and run through 5 YouTube-based business ideas I'd explore further if I had the time. Over the last few years, I've spent a lot of time on YouTube, consuming, researching, and creating. And every time I come across a problem or I think, hey, it would be cool if someone could solve this, I note the idea down. And these are the 5 ideas we're going to run through today. Now, I don't know if any of these ideas already exist, but if they do, I couldn't find them easily with a quick Google search. And I'm not even sure if the 5th one is technologically possible. So let's jump straight into it. Now, the first one is an AI short form video generator. So pretty much the idea of this is to turn your long form YouTube videos into, well, shorts or short form content. But it's got a slight twist to it. And the slight twist is that you use spikes in your YouTube video data. Primary driver of what makes this potentially quite a good idea is AI, and more specifically, AI video is all the rage at the moment. We go over to exploding topics. We can see here, AI video generator, AI video editor, AI video software are some of the hottest topics in business and marketing across the web. Now, while there are a lot of video AI tools out there, obviously, this one is slightly different. And I've tried a few video AI tools just in passing and seen some reviews. And primarily, I think the video AI finds it hard at the moment to get context always. And it's a bit hit and miss with regard to which bits they pull. If you go into your channel analytics, you can see something called your spikes. And in its simplest form, these spikes are the bits that people go back and rewatch or almost replay across your whole video, which ultimately probably means these are the bits that people care about the most. So what would be great is if you could plug in your YouTube analytics to this shorts video maker, and it will just then look at the spike data, and then you could start creating contextually relevant 60-second videos around that spike, which therefore technically should be the most engaging content that you have out there. I mean, this could have already been made, but again, like I said, I Googled it quickly, I couldn't find anything, and I think this would be something that would be super useful. People who want to create short form content based off of long form videos, they haven't got loads of time, but they want to make sure they're actually serving the most relevant bits to their audience. And you could call it something like Spike AI. Is that one free? Okay, that looks like it's taken. Oh, spike.co, £15,000. There we go. Bargain. Name and idea. Moving on to the second one. And the second one is what I'm going to call a thumbnail storer. And I scroll down YouTube quite a lot, whether I'm just genuinely browsing or whether I'm doing research for upcoming videos. And sometimes I'll see elements of video thumbnails that I quite like, or ideas which inspire me. And at the moment, what I do is I take a screenshot on my phone, or I clip it on my computer, and I'll save it to a Notion board or into a Notion page. And while this process doesn't take very long, it takes about 30 seconds. I would rather that it didn't take 30 seconds. And what I was thinking and what I noted down would be great if there was some sort of Chrome extension that you could install, which you scroll down YouTube, you like the look of a thumbnail, and then you can just click save, and it will save it either to a place on Notion, or it will save it to a dedicated bit of software, which I can then sync with Slack or Notion or somewhere else. So that would be really cool. I think what would be even better, take this one step further, would be if there was a way in which, if they were running, split tests with, YouTube's new tool, or whether it was using like Thumbnail Test, I believe is the software that I use, and it shows you the 2 thumbnails that they were using, and then the winner. You could then start seeing the best types of thumbnails that one out of those 2 for those types of videos at that specific time. So I think that could be a thumbnail store basically, but then you could start getting some analytics and performance marketing behind that thumbnail store to make it super better. Maybe have like a an entry-level price tier and then a performance price tier, which allows you to sort of monitor which ones have performed the best. Which then moves me on to business idea number 3 around YouTube. And I'm sticking with the thumbnail theme. Obviously, thumbnails are one of the most important things when it comes to YouTube and creating videos, because, if people don't click on your videos, they're not going to watch your videos. It's pretty self-explanatory. But what I thought would be great would be creating the likes of 99 designs, but for thumbnails. And for those of you who don't know, 99 designs are pretty much where you can upload your design brief for a website or social or logos or whatever it would be. And then loads of people would submit their designs, and then you can choose the winners, and then they get paid a larger sum than normally would be paid for them actually going into that auction. Because obviously, if you win, you want to make sure you recuperate the times that you didn't win and the effort went in. Now, creating a 2-sided marketplace is super hard. It's not really a good idea to go into for the faint of heart, and probably one of those ideas that you'd probably need funding for. But, hear me out. What would be great is if you have a video idea, you could upload it and then people just submit their thumbnail designs and you choose the ones that you like. And then you could upload it to a place which rotates thumbnails, and then whichever one wins from a higher click-through rate, from a amount watch rate, you guys choose the metrics that you're going to be going after that are going to win. And then the one that actually wins from a performance perspective is the one that ends up getting the money off the back of it. So that everyone's sort of uploading their own thumbnails, and the winner and the one that actually gets you the best results are the ones that get paid. Or to make things super easy, maybe just create a thumbnail design agency or consultancy which designs thumbnails, and if your thumbnails beats the creator thumbnail, then they pay you twice the amount, and if it doesn't, then they don't pay you. So obviously make it more premium to make sure that obviously you guys are giving them a win-win scenario, that they're only paying for one if it's better, rather than obviously paying for thumbnails which don't perform at all. So an interesting way and a really good hook and offer to potentially get people through the front door if you're looking to create a business based around YouTube thumbnails. So moving off the YouTube thumbnails now, but more now moving on to something called a YouTube ad storer. And I'm going back into a very similar vein than I did for the thumbnail storer. Now, at the moment, I create a video, which I'll link to in the end, that you can actually see YouTube ads being used by other people when you come across them. You can also use Google Transparency Center, but what I'd really like to do would be to have a tool where I can store all these YouTube ads that I see or I research and come across. At the moment, none of these apps, pieces of software like Foreplay, I believe is one. It's a very, weird name for a tool that saves ads because it brings up some weird search results, but I'm not going to get into that now. But they say that Google Transparency is coming soon, but they actually haven't introduced that yet. But within Google Transparency is obviously the like of YouTube ads, because Google owns YouTube, so you can see all the ads that are running on YouTube. What would be great is if you come across YouTube ads that you like, or you're doing research into your competitors. We run a lot of YouTube ads for our clients at Session Media, so ultimately what would be great is if we could save these ads for each of our clients in a dedicated software folder. It would also be great to see how long these ads have been running for, so we can then indicatively see whether these ads have actually performed really well or not so well, because if they've run them for 6 months, for example, chances are the ad creative has been working really well, so people have left them running. And any other metrics which Google's sort of the API allows you to pull through from the Transparency Center. I haven't looked too much into it, but again, if you can go and store the likes of YouTube ads and even Google ads within sort of this bit of software, that would be fantastic. It would allow people who run agencies and freelancers to be able to store their clients, competitors' creative and their landscape, and you just, again, keep inspiration for when it strikes later on. You can also then pull in things like, LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and create this whole sort of ads library, and it's like a swipe kit. Some companies I've seen doing this at the moment. There's only sort of 2 or 3 players. I believe it's pretty unsaturated as a marketplace, so it's definitely a good time to get into this sort of thing, but definitely include YouTube ads, and let me know when you have, because that's something that I would like, please. Thank you. Now, this 5th and final one is one that I don't even know if it's possible. And a bit of a backstory is I was reading this book, Thinking Fast and Slow. Okay, I was listening to the audiobook. They did an experiment they talked about an experiment where these people put this eye optician machine over people's eyes and told them to start reading words or focusing on something. And then they could tell the exact moment when they stopped focusing on something because their eye stopped moving in a certain way. So what they did is, as soon as someone stopped focusing, they said, okay, you stop focusing now. And everyone thought it was like magic, because they were like, how do they know that I've stopped focusing? Because they found the cognitive load too much to keep going, or they found it too easy, depending on the study that they were running. So they would stop focusing quicker. But typically it was too hard for them to sort of keep going, so they just gave up the task. Now, what would be really good with the likes of, I imagine, AI and other sort of SaaS tools put together would be, say, for example, you could upload 2 variations of your YouTube intro, for example, or first minute, and you could get someone to watch the first minute of these 2 intros. Then you could use like webcam mixed with AI technology to look at the retinas in the eyes of the people who are watching this video, and then within that they could make an analysis of, okay, this one here, we could tell within 15 seconds this user stopped watching, whereas this one here was like 34 seconds before they stopped watching because their rapid eye movement or their eye movement stopped moving in a particular way. I imagine you'd have to do a lot of scientific research around this one. You'd definitely probably have to get funding or team up with a bunch of experts in the space to be able to get this rolling. But if you're able to do this, you'd be able to sort of actually get the more premium creator to send these across to you. You could then get people to look at them and then scientifically iterate YouTube videos to be able to work out which ones are going to be the best performing videos for you. Couple that with a great thumbnail from these designs, as well as a great competitor ad swipe files and everything else, and you're probably going to have a whole suite of amazing YouTube products. But this eye tracking technology wouldn't actually stop right there. You could actually go and use it for the likes of landing pages or ad creative in general, and TV shows. So if you sort of create this sort of thing, which I imagine isn't too far being taken off, I imagine sort of your eyes can be censored from the webcam, and then you can actually work out some sort of algorithm to track them to see when you stop paying attention. Again, it's not for me. It's for someone a lot more clever than me to go out there and work out how to do this, please, because that would be awesome. We give people then what they want to watch, which I think is a good thing. Anyway, okay, so that was a slightly different video today. I hope you found that interesting. If not interesting, entertaining on how, average or bad or maybe good the ideas were. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, guys, have a great week.